Hi, this is Mike Rowland, the president and founder of Impact Interactions. Today, I'd like to review our community management experience and provide some specific examples of some current and recent work that we've done in the community area. Our team has over 30 years of combined experience. We have been helping companies since 1998 with various companies. We've worked with both gated, meaning communities that are behind and attached to a corporate website, as well as open communities, which are on groups such as LinkedIn or Facebook groups. In our careers, our staff has created many of the best practices that you read about today in blogs, in community management, white papers, etc. We have a lot of consumer-focused experience, both within Impact Interactions, which I'll detail in a couple of minutes, but also prior to forming Impact Interactions. You can see from the list here companies like AT&T WorldNet, MSN's People in Chat, Sony's Soap City website, Columbia TriStar's television productions, Ace Hardware's Our House renovation community, American Airlines frequent flyer community, and others have worked with us and our team members in order to launch, run, and measure their online communities. Our methodology is based on close partnership in working with our client teams. We want to ensure that you receive the value of working with Impact Interactions. Now that covers things like ensuring that we understand the proper voice, the tone, the message that your brand wants to establish, reinforce, or build online. It also means that we are going to escalate key issues to your appropriate team member in order to avoid getting a public black eye, like many brands do, from missteps made in communities and social media. But just as importantly, we escalate key issues because we want your members to experience excellence and have a good relationship with your brand that's reinforced by utilizing your online community. We are very process driven. We create the processes, or we will review your existing processes to find efficiencies and to put our best practices at managing communities to work. We will document this, and then our management will follow that documentation and process. We are a data-driven company. We believe strongly in measurement and in benchmarking and reporting. And all of this is included in our community management engagements. Lastly, we believe in open communications at all times. If we are going to be your partner, we need to understand where you are going, what is happening with your brand, what new ideas and what new campaigns are coming up, so that we are not caught flat-footed and can respond in a timely and respectful and positive manner with your audience online. At the same point in time, we want to ensure that we are available to listen to your suggestions, to listen to your ideas, and at the same time, provide the best possible member experience in your community. Our approach is very flexible. We work with our clients to tailor an SOW, statement of work, that meets your needs. We look at things like facilitation versus moderation. Too often we talk about moderation as if it's facilitation, but they are very different. Enablement versus heavy-handed control. Do you enable your members to freely talk about and advocate for your brand? Or do you have a heavy-handed approach which tries to limit access to your brand? We also tailor our work to help with both the branded or gated communities versus third-party sites like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter audiences, because they are different. We utilized what we have called the beacon strategy, to use Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube audiences to drive traffic back to your community in order to build the strongest level of engagement and advocacy possible. And lastly, we believe in having a tight alignment with your brand versus an affiliation with your brand. The difference being, when you are just simply affiliated with your brand, you don't demonstrate brand loyalty, nor do you go out of your way to recognize those people in your communities who are true enthusiasts, who should be recognized because of their network effect in spreading your brand message. If we are aligned with your brand and we are uncovering these people, your reach will be far greater than if we are simply just pushing your brand message. So let's take a look at some of our experience. I'm going to review some work that we've done for Cisco, AARP, Disney Parks, NEFI, which is the National Education Endowment for Financial Education, and SAP. Within Cisco, our team members created and managed their first online community way back in 2000. We have been in multiple engagements covering everything about communities and social media since 2003, and currently are managing one of their largest community efforts to date in the marketing arena. For AARP, we have worked with AARP for over 9 years. During that time, we had multiple engagements, including community management, strategy, measurement of AARP.org metrics, but also internal team training sessions to align the internal resources to utilize the community properly. For Disney Parks, we worked on a fabulous campaign that was so much fun and very creative, but we worked as a subcontractor to their digital agency in order to provide the execution services for this campaign. For the National Endowment for Financial Education, NEFI, they launched a Smart About Money site with a community that was not performing, and we were brought in to audit and take a look at helping to moderate and help the community grow. Along the way, besides building out the process management, outreach activities, and measurement, we also realized that the majority of their audience was still on Facebook and Twitter. And so, while these tactics had not been actively pursued, we built a plan to help embed and utilize those audiences and those tools to work with the community. SAP is another longtime client. Our team members created their first online community back in 2000, and a blog program was launched by Impact Interactions featuring the top-level board members back in 2003. We have done multiple engagements since then with communities, with social media, measurement, all kinds of things. But our latest focus is really upon a training site for SAP partners, which uses a best performance program, which we helped create, and now the Partner University site, totally supported with community and social media activities to drive engagement and build training to build results for SAP. So let's get started. Cisco Marketing Communities. We've been the community management team and moderation team since its inception in 2006. Since the initial community has grown to more than 70 public and private communities, this is a very complex community management engagement. Overall, the communities have over 100,000 members, and membership continues to grow as this community is publicized more and more. The key is, even though there are 70 private and public communities, each one of them in their own way is highlighting a Cisco initiative, a Cisco product, a Cisco marketing campaign, or a training center. Because of the complexity, I'd like to talk to you about our role. Role number one is to keep our communications open and keep the managers at Cisco aligned to the goals. Because as you can imagine, with 70 different teams working on communities, messaging, marketing, and all other types of communications can get snagged very quickly. And we try to keep everything straight. So that includes things like talking to people to process the new community requests, making sure that there are actual business goals for launching a new community, and making sure that that ties in with the overall platform objectives of marketing. We talk about how much it costs. We talk about the procedures and the policies, how we're going to launch, what activities are necessary, what content is accessible, etc. Then we also help community managers and community management teams with their promotion, building and maintaining their editorial calendar or content calendar, but also helping them to find and utilize subject matter experts in order to scale the community. We do this partially by facilitating meetings that are based on ongoing support, updates to the community, recognition of top efforts, but also by bringing in best practices from other clients to share work, to share successes that can be replicated within the communities. Role 2, we call it community member caretaking. Essentially, the difference between moderation and facilitation is moderation is defensive. Moderation is all about taking down posts, editing posts, and being the referee. We prefer to be facilitators. We try to get conversations moving between members, Cisco staff, and third-party subject matter experts. To do this, we escalate unanswered discussion forum questions to appropriate resources quickly, and not only to just internal resources, but external members who we know have the expertise to answer it. Because rapid response encourages repeat visits, and it also builds loyalty. We also maintain relationships with the top members, and we want to recognize top contributors. So in 2012, we will begin a recognition program with the Cisco marketing communities to highlight these top members. Our third role is measurement. As you can see, we have full requirements for reporting across multiple spectrums that all touch the online communities at Cisco. We put together large reports that cover everything from membership increases, as you can see here, to examples of qualitative conversations that were in the best interest of Cisco or showed value to Cisco in terms of utility in using the community. We also have built and manage dashboards that cover listening results from Radian 6, and also the blog platform. Because while the blog is not necessarily connected directly to the communities, the traffic moving back and forth between the communities and the blogs is significant. And it needs to be recognized going forward that the audiences are very similar, so we can help. A specific small community that is part of the Cisco marketing communities is Cisco SP, that stands for Service Providers Mobility. This is a community that is focused on roughly 4,000 members worldwide. It's a smaller community. It has very tight control over who can enter and really participate, because it's all about what Cisco is doing in the mobility area. So what we do here is, besides facilitation, we're looking for trends. We're looking outside in the third-party blogs and in content sources and analyst reports for trends that we can highlight in the community to help members. And we do that by suggesting content for blogs. As needed, we're also in there facilitating, pointing people to Cisco resources. And lastly, to support this channel, even though it's small, we have been helping by using Twitter to help, again, drive people to the communities, to the blogs, to find relevant information. One of the keys to any community is recognition of members. So I want to switch gears here for a second and go to the Cisco support community. This is the community that we helped found back in 2000 as NetPro. It has grown and matured and done extremely well over the past 12 years. But one of the latest projects that we've done was to develop the initial criteria, rewards, processes, and communications content for a very unique membership recognition program that honors Cisco's top community members around the globe. Now, why is this important? Well, long-term members of communities tend to be very active and stay active to the detriment of newer members feeling like they can contribute as well. So we set up two plans, one to recognize the longer-term members in the Hall of Fame, and a second to honor designated VIPs who perhaps have not been around as long but who are providing tremendous content. It's a two-tiered approach, and it works very, very well because we are seeing increased repeat visits, more activity among members, both the longer term in the Hall of Fame, but also those designated as VIPs, across multiple categories within the community. Membership recognition is much more important than incentives like tchotchkes or branded logo merchandise that is earned simply for activity like logging in. Rather, to be honored for contributions does a much better job at building the loyalty and helping to build that cadre of a team to help you scale your efforts within your communities. And we have lots of experience with this. So let's switch over now to a consumer-focused site, the AARP Community Management. We ran the AARP community from 2004 through 2010, but prior to that, I managed the community team at AARP for 4 years while at a previous company called Participate.com. Now you're saying, well, wait a minute, you lost AARP? And the answer is yes, we did. AARP switched to a new platform, and as part of the platform hosting agreement, moderation services were included. And in today's environment, if you can get something cheaper, you're going to take it. Now, the good news for AARP is, in terms of continuity, several of our former team members are currently working for the community team at AARP. That keeps the community moving strongly forward. Specifically, some of the things that we did for the community management team included the processes to run the community. Okay, we're the first line support for members with the platform. And AARP changed their platform 3 times in 5 years, which caused tremendous upset and tremendous disruption within the community. But we were there to help. We facilitated member questions about AARP issues, membership, legislative stances, etc. We helped in forming groups to engage new members to contribute. We held a management strategy session where we identified top members and came up with a plan to recognize them. And one of the ways we did that was to host offline meetings with the top members at AARP's Washington, D.C. headquarters. We used personas in the early days of platforms to generate additional content and new content in both slower areas of the community, but also to model behavior within the community. We developed new groups, newsletter content, and member-focused content based upon metrics that we saw developing within the community. And lastly, we did a lot of reporting, both daily worksheets for our moderation and facilitation team, as well as weekly metrics, followed by monthly trends, using both the platform and Omniture metrics. One of the questions in your email to us was regarding the voice of the brand. And with AARP, I want to show you how we handled such a large community with over 400,000 members by using a 2-track approach. First, our team set up accounts as, in this case, AARP Mike, which answered questions that were central to AARP issues. For example, on Medicare Part D, on support of President Obama's healthcare initiatives, among many others. The AARP personas, meaning AARP Mike, were the voice of AARP within the community. Now, that's not to say that we understood every single issue. We did not. But in most cases, we were given upfront information to understand what members might come back with and to talk to them about it. We were also given excellent contacts for our escalation matrix, so that if we were not comfortable answering a question because it was beyond basic or beyond a medium term type of question and really needed something stronger to answer it, we knew who to contact. Besides our AARP accounts, we also had the community host account. And this account was managed by several people depending on the shift and the time of work. We worked with the AARP community Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. in the morning until midnight every night. We also represented AARP and facilitated the community on weekends. So we needed to have a single community host account for continuity of effort. But the idea here is by splitting the types of accounts, you can have two different voices within the community, and it worked very, very well. Now let's talk about Smart About Money. Okay, this was a startup community launched in 2010. We were brought in after the community had already been built in order to moderate it. And what we found was a community that was, from a software standpoint, glitchy, from a content and process management standpoint, barren. So we needed to step in quickly in order to provide management services and help Smart About Money get the community up and running from a people side. So that meant doing things like seed posting, where we created personas, and we had roughly 40 or more of them, and on a daily basis we were posting because we wanted to demonstrate activity within the community but also model behavior. And we used topics and content that were all about smartaboutmoney.org's content and contests. We wrote newsletter articles and content generation. We sourced experts as well to help with content generation within the community. We gave them a strategy for using Facebook and Twitter to build their audience. Now, they did not really use it. They didn't do too much with it until much later. And in fact, the Smart About Money Twitter account never got going. But that's okay. The client is the one who makes the decision, and we're fine with that. We will provide our recommendations based on what we understand, based on what we know, but sometimes the client doesn't always take that into account. So we also did weekly and monthly measurement using Google Analytics on the site, but one of the main problems was troubleshooting. Because the site was a custom-made site, it was extremely buggy, and it was a problem for not only us moderating and managing, but also users. So we had to help the users quite a bit. Now let's take a look at a social campaign that was very, very fun. This was the My Magical Disney Vacation, and the site was mymagicaldisneyvacation.com, which is no longer active because it was a campaign. Here we acted as a subcontractor to Disney Parks Digital Agency. As you may be aware, Disney has very, very tight regulations and processes for any content added on any of their sites. And so we had to fulfill our responsibilities while maintaining Disney's strong family values and protecting them from potential copyright issues. For example, it was fine to upload the face of a Disney character, say one of the princesses. It was not okay to upload a picture of Bugs Bunny because Bugs Bunny is owned by a different company. Disney is very tight when it comes to copyright. Lastly, because Disney is a family-oriented site, we had to check the pictures because people do funny things. And we did find some nudity. We found some inappropriate pictures, and we had to take them down. But we were very proud of the fact that we were scanning every photo uploaded within a 4-hour period. and with a volume of over 25,000 videos produced, with 3 pictures each, we were very happy, as was Disney, in terms of generating new contacts for sending park information, offers, as well as adding people to their email campaign lists. Lastly, in terms of examples, I would like to talk about the SAP Partner Enablement community. This is a fully integrated community offering that we are currently working on with SAP in Europe. The Best Performance Program for SAP Partners is all about SAP training and working with their partners to become more independent in how they generate leads and work with customers. As part of this training, we began with the Best Performance Challenge and Best Performance Circle, and have now launched the EMEA Partner University. The Partner University encompasses both the Circle, which is an executive level community, the Best Performance Challenge, which is a partner-driven community that is a contest with tasks, points, and awards, as well as multiple training courses. We support it with an executive blog for best performance executives, with YouTube channels that offer training, advice, incentives, the whole piece of working and understanding how to be better at your business. We support and facilitate LinkedIn groups and multiple Twitter accounts. In 2012, the beginning of this year, we provided the strategic recommendations to consolidate the multiple communities into a single site, the Partner University concept. We are in the process now of rebranding all the social media support offerings to bring the audience into a single location with stronger offerings. This will continue for the next quarter, and we are looking with SAP to roll this out globally next year. So while this is a video, you can still ask questions. Please feel free to contact me, Mike Rowland, with specific questions regarding our work. If the answer is not covered by an NDA, we can answer it for you. We are also happy to provide you references on our work. I'd like to thank you for your interest in learning more about Impact Interactions and how we may be able to help Procter & Gamble with your online communities and social needs. Thanks again for your time, and I hope to talk with you soon.